Karali.
Welcome.
Hey, Piotruś.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. We're back after. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna have a special live in English.
Welcome, Syracuse.
1 hour ago we were talking only Polish, and now after some little break we decided to speak English.
And there were few
as
lost.
we promised.
And there were few lost souls on the Polish side that
And
were English speaking. So we told them to come back here. I hope we're here.
Okay, so we are in Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the moment. So
Sailing Esperanza, how are you?
Hello. Nice to see you. Okay.
So let's see.
So at the moment we are in Poland.
Hey, Marek.
We're not on a boat yet, but
2 weeks to go.
2 weeks to go, exactly. So we just have last day in a land life. So we're enjoying our family time here in Poland as much as we can. Last meeting with friends and family. And at the moment, we're packing all our cases and grabbing everything we have to collect and bring to the boat.
For us, this is the idea of vacation. When you live on a boat, the idea of vacation is to live on the land, and when you live on the land, the idea of vacation is to live on a boat when you're so. it's whatever you're missing is that you want your vacation. So this is it. Although our entire life is almost like vacation.
And are Polish speaking, so you can go to our previous live that was 2 hours ago, and it was only in Polish. So maybe it's gonna be easier for you to just. See the meeting in English, in Polish. Yes. Okay.
So
where are we?
Captain Mark Gray. We are in Poland for the moment. The boat is in Suriname, so it's perfectly safe away from the whole hurricane zone, which ends right around Trinidad. So we're still a few degrees south of that point. So we're perfectly safe with both the boat and us.
Yes.
However, as you know, Bahamas didn't do so well in the last few days. The Hurricane Dorian did a massive devastation over there. It was a terrible one. Not only was it a Category 5, but it was a very slow-moving one. So when it latched onto Great Abaco and Grand Bahama Island, it actually pummeled it and devastated it for quite a long time. Unlike most other hurricanes who actually move, with a reasonable pace. So when they do hit, they hit it for a few hours and then they leave. This one didn't leave for quite a while. So it's, wow. Hi, Basha. So on our side, we made this decision about 2 days ago with Ania that we are going to divert all the money that's going to patronite.pl in Poland to Bahamas relief effort, and one episode from patreon.com, the whole donation, and also anything that comes through our PayPal donations that's going to also go to Bahamas. If you have any suggestions as to what is the most potent, most efficient way to
connections and there's still some problems with the Wi-Fi.
Let's see. Yes, there's nothing we can do. Yeah. Apparently. So if you have any ideas as to what would be the most efficient, most potent way, perhaps you can, before we act. Welcome. Yes, Masha. Yes, we heard about the Florida didn't get hit so hard, but the Bahamas is terrible. Absolutely. And you guys were quite scared, I'm sure, for a while as well. We didn't know which way it's going to go.
After the Maria and Irma hurricanes, unbelievable to just observe it. And we made some video about it, but seeing like and Dominica and BVI, British Virgin Islands, was really tragic to see that how the serious damages was made at that moment 2 years ago, and now we got it was like a very unbelievable that Maria and Irma was really the large hurricane was formed, and now 2 years later we got even the biggest hurricane. Yeah, this one is the biggest one, like a little one bigger than
Yeah, we basically have three biggest hurricanes on record in the last 2 years, effectively. And
the only thing we can say that this time is like the damages are not so large as it was like 2 years ago.
Well, only were hit because effectively the only developed areas in the Bahamas that it hit was Great Coco and Grand Bahama. So basically Marsh Harbor and Freeport. And the damage is amazing over there. I mean, it's just beyond any imagination. When 2 years ago Irma and when Irma and Maria hit one or another, both the lower Caribbean, like Dominica and partially Guadeloupe, and then it went on across the Caribbean Sea and hit the BVIs and what else that was there that got hit? Oh yeah, San Martin.
Okay, guys, I need to interrupt for a while.
Yes.
I don't know why it's coming from, but the connection at YouTube is slower, and we are also.
Now we're actually live on YouTube. So everybody on YouTube, YouTube is apparently censoring us or doing something. So switch to Facebook or to Instagram. Both feeds are live right now, so you're welcome to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, if you can switch to Facebook, because you're not liking us for the last 6 months and today including. So we won't be sad if you leave YouTube here for the purpose of hearing us somewhere.
Tom Williams, you're asking about all the comments below our videos. It's not our decision. We didn't turn off all the comments at our channel. All about the YouTube policy that was set up in February, and that we are not able to turn it on because it's not our decision.
Okay, so eat this. These people, well, obviously we hit the corporate wall many times, and every time they tell us that it was due to safety reasons, because apparently pedophiles were commenting and getting turned on comments on channels where the kids are. So yeah, it's in a very interesting connection that's being made here. I'm not sure exactly how they get off. By cutting our comments, they have basically degraded heavily the algorithm of how popular our channel is, and we've been basically stagnant when it comes to traffic and subscriptions in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's not only about us, but it's about tens. So but it's like it's not fair because it's not only about the politics and regulations, but it's more about the money, because the biggest channels that have a lot of subscribers,
basically channels
doesn't have that issues.
Channels that have 100,000 subscribers or more, apparently they're exempt from that rule. They can have toddlers running around in just diapers, and and their comments were not disabled. So how do we remedy this algorithm shaping? I don't know. The only way I do know, what we can do, is to retract as far back from using YouTube and other corporations to stream our content, and basically track back to our own website, to sailoceans.com, because that is the only kind of neurotic corporate management, that just jumps up with some kind of a crazy policy that basically kills the creativity for most people, So this is where we're going.
Maybe the funny story is about the video we made. I edited about Julian's birthday, and so it was the party. So we were preparing to the party, and our idea about the party was just to have a costume birthday party for Julian. And so Bartek was a woman, I was a policeman, and Kasia was a fireman, and kids were like some pirates and blah blah blah. And then after we just released the video, and YouTube saw Bartek's being a woman, they just banned it because it's hitting all the social.
The what?
Why they banned it? The YouTube banned it. They felt it's not appropriate.
They banned it. They banned it.
Illegal.
They banned it because they called it fetish, and fetish cannot be on children's channels. So apparently, if you're trying to do a video on YouTube that has to do anything with costume party, where you would possibly have somebody would not be properly clothed in the clothes that are appropriate for their own sex, then sorry, but you're going to ban.
So apparently we needed to delete it from our channel, and
in order to survive as a channel.
Yeah. Otherwise,
sad.
So this is like it's going, I don't know where.
Somewhere
really.
I am very sensitive to being censored, and this is really hitting the nerve for me. So hence, I am looking forward to becoming independent of neurotic corporate management.
Yeah, but this is what we can do. Almost nothing. But we're doing our best to avoid it somehow. Yes. So
you'll basically see a lot more of just trailers on YouTube, and then we'll post the actual content, hopefully uncensored for a while, on Vimeo. And if that hits the fan, then we'll just move completely with our content to our website. So we do invite you greatly to just follow us on sailoceans.com, because all the now on sailoceans.com, and you can comment on sailoceans.com, and nobody will take away those comments because we are in control of that domain and that server. Nobody's touching that.
Reconnecting. That connection.
Yes, I don't know. I'm you know what? Off. I sense.
Please.
I sense.
Maybe our.
I seriously sense a.
Maybe just said inappropriate
sabotage over here. Okay, guys. Are we coming back to hurricanes? Is there anything you want to know about the hurricanes? I can tell you a fun thing. Well, not fun thing. I mean, probably interesting thing for most public that's not really known. There was a question about whether flying through hurricanes is safe. Well, hurricane by itself is a large system. So even if there is high, airplane simply drifts with the wind, just kind of like a boat on the water. So the wind itself is not dangerous. What's dangerous is disturbances, local disturbances, like something that turns basically, and you hit it with a high speed, and it basically makes the move, makes the airplane hit the turbulence. So the big deal about a hurricane is that a lot of hurricanes, especially closer to the eye, have thunderstorms in them, and some of those thunderstorms can even produce tornadoes. Obviously, everybody knows flying through thunderstorms and tornadoes, no good. Don't do it. No fun. Seriously, not no fun. It's just we don't do it. Nobody does it. Nobody in the right mind does that. And definitely not any airliner gets anywhere close to a thunderstorm. We always take a nice. Most of the time, we do it on the windward side, so this way we don't get any blow from the thunderstorm itself. Case in point. Last week, I was flying New York, Buenos Aires, and we purposely took a route that took us over Cuba, Jamaica, Colombia, to be more west than our usual route over the Caribbean, which would effectively hit the front of Dorian. And that wasn't because there were thunders there. It was because of those disturbances, it would have been turbulent. It would have been basically unsafe to fly. Not unsafe to fly. At least uncomfortable to fly. Having said that, there are planes like C-130, military C-130. It's a four-propeller airplane that's built like a tank, and they are actually made to weather.com's eye. into the hurricane. So they take all the, obviously the airplane makes it no problem, but it's not a comfortable ride for sure. So yes, we do avoid hurricanes. From the perspective of sailing, I'm sure most of you know that no, we again avoid the hurricanes, and by a much larger and much wider berth. Because the good news about hurricanes is that these days we are very well aware, way ahead of time, thanks to really good forecasts, where the hurricane is, how fast it's moving, which direction, track. The forecasted track is not a sure thing, so you still have to keep an eye on it. But the general rule in the Caribbean is fairly easy. If you're somewhere in the Windward Islands, which is more down south, then the general rule is run, because the likelihood of a hurricane turning even more south, there's basically no hurricanes once you pass Grenada to the south. So that's the way to run from the hurricane. Another way to stay safe from the hurricane is remain completely outside of the hurricane zone, which is somewhere between 30 north latitude and about 10, give or take, south, 10 north, to remain completely south of it during the hurricane season, which officially starts on June 1st and officially ends on November 1st. And that is exactly when our insurance also wants us out of there, after their bad financial experience of that choice this year and last year to stay in the hurricane zone, even in an approved marina. So we found what? Suriname. Love Suriname place. People are amazing. We did this really cool joke or car throughout the day, and there wasn't a single person that wouldn't wave us back. It was awesome. We loved it.
Really nice weather.
Really nice people, really nice weather, and we are actually
really
in the jungle.
Perfect place to put a boat for hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
But not so many places left in the marina. Marina for only 6, 7 maybe.
No,
eight boats.
There's like 10 boats, I think, something like that.
Depends,
and there's only one
the
spot for
size.
us.
Yes.
Only one good spot for us.
Yeah, in the morning we got really interesting questions about people, local people who live in an area of hurricanes, where the hurricanes hit sometimes. Why don't they move somewhere else to just avoid being caught again by the hurricane? So our impression from the interviews and meeting with our friends from the Caribbean and Bahamas is that I think they are so connected to Earth, to the land over there, because they feel this is their home. No questions over there, honey?
Wait, hold on.
No.
I'm trying to clean up Instagram. All right, there we go.
So
sorry, guys.
Yeah. So now you're so disturbed with your hand.
No, but sound goes pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. This is unstable. This is in our a meeting with the locals that they just they are so connected to the earth, to the land they live. They treat it as their home. They got the friends with there and family, and they don't. They are not used to travel a lot, because then when they leave next island, they don't visit it because it's really expensive to travel to the other island next door. But they don't do it because of the finance. And so for them the island stays their home, and they cannot even imagine just traveling somewhere else and move out. For them,
the island they live on, for a lot of people, is the whole world, basically. So they don't have any, they don't have a concept of living somewhere else. Honestly, it's really that they feel like this is their home, and why they don't want to leave. They don't know how to leave. They don't want to even think about that. I can feel it. It's not. It may not seem emotional, but emotionally, it's very well. To me, it's very well put.
Okay, but talking about Dorian, the hurricane, so it's getting easier that because it doesn't hit the land, but only there's some threats about water coming to the land. Yes, honey?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's still a lot of storm surge, and I think the Carolinas are still looking pretty scary for when it comes to forecast. They still hit the coast, so it's probably going to get ugly over there. But hopefully it'll divert a little bit. It's the hurricanes are quite. That I remember Maria that hit when it finally got to Florida. Everybody thought it was going to hit directly basically from being wrecked. So never tell till it actually arrives what it's going to do, for sure. I mean, the forecasts are really good these days, but they're still just forecasts. So we're still looking at it. We're still trying to see what's going on. The big thing about Dorian right now is this: it's been downgraded when it comes to wind speed, actually causing, in a sense, more havoc than it did before. Apparently, the amount of moisture that it's carrying is just crazy. So it's all the flooding and all the storm surge from the wind. All that stuff is really, really bad for all the coastal areas and for the islands. And Bahamas, just to give you an idea, Bahamas doesn't stick up from the water more than a few feet or a few meters at best. Those islands are flat. So whenever big storm hits, they literally go underwater, a lot of the area. You can probably see this satellite picture of Freeport. That is scary. It shows you in yellow the original shoreline, and it shows you where the water is right now on the satellite picture. It's more than half the island's been eaten up. So it just shows you how low the elevation over there is, and there's nowhere to go. Kind of prison, no, to live on an island. Personally, I probably wouldn't like to live in one place. That's why I live on a sailboat, and that is the best thing I can possibly think of for myself and hopefully for Ania and the family. But I can also see kind of a much deeper thing in this. The prison idea is really to your mind.
No, but we cannot say, because I remember one story when we were in Dominican Republic, and I was in a car from the renting company, and I was waiting for you. Just Maciej.
Hi,
Maciej. I was renting a car, and the guy was with me waiting for you because you got a flight, and then he was, I would fly. I will fly somewhere, and I asked him where. Just somewhere, because I'm stuck here. I earn $200 a month, working, in a company, renting company. So he was really well dressed, and it was really nice. But he just earned $200, so it would be him to just meditate and think, okay,
no, but I said,
let's feel.
But I said to some extent.
But he knows that for many people, there it's really impossible to get out from the country.
But that's why I said to some extent.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to ask when we come back to Caribbean and Bahamas, to ask people about it, that they really love the place they live, but still, how do they feel about it? We can make some interviews with them. The little answers,
we'll do that.
It, because
that's
for
an
me,
idea
it's
for
really
our episodes.
Also interesting. Being in prison, in the beautiful island, in the paradise sometimes, because they live in the paradise, but
you can be a prisoner of a beautiful garden if it's heavily walled, you cannot leave it. I think it's this big difference. Thank you. I think this is a really good subject, actually. I think there's this big difference between you can be in the same place doing the same thing, and if you have to do it, if you must do it, it's going to feel a lot different than if you just want to do it. And it's still the same thing. Activity. So some of it is in mind.
Yeah, so we are
in the whole sensation of freedom.
So next year we are planning to go to Bahamas. Probably we got in our plan to
Mhm.
go because normally we have been to Bahamas 3 times with our boat, but it was more around the Exuma than Nassau. We just avoided Nassau because we prefer a more
Natural setting.
uninhabited.
Uninhabited, yes.
This is the word
By the
I
way,
tried to say.
for those of you who don't know, 98% of islands in the Bahamas of development. I'm talking. That's how crazy Exuma. The Conception Island is especially amazing for us because over there is no cell phone coverage, so we are as beautifully cut off as it can be, and it's an amazing experience every single time we go there. I love it.
Exactly.
So yes, but to come back to the original question, Halder, yes, to have the freedom of choice is the most important thing, because we could be sitting there for the rest of our life if we had the choice to leave. But if we didn't have the choice to leave, it would feel like a prison, for sure. So Bahamas is definitely, we're coming back there. We love it. 98% of the island are uninhabited. The 2% that are developed are basically outside of Nassau, Freeport, and a bit of Marsh Harbor. Is very rudimentary kind of civilization. Very basic. The stores are very, very basic. Everything ungodly expensive in the Bahamas because nothing grows there. Everything is imported. And the more rural you go, the more expensive it gets. So this is not a subject for an interview. How these people can afford this stuff?
Yeah.
So
it was like a triple,
crazy.
Triple prices.
Triple the U.S. market prices.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it was really expensive. Week to Georgetown, Zuma.
Somebody asked for. Yep, there's poor people everywhere that feel trapped in the paradise. Correct. Correct. Paradise could be a prison. Love Boat. Love Boat's been on. We I don't know if those of you who don't know, we have
maybe about all the YouTube policy and avoiding it, just dealing with the YouTube.
Yeah. This is part of our plan to deal with avoiding YouTube policy to sabotage us. We have created also Love Boat, which is for now it's a Facebook group, but eventually we want to migrate as many things as possible to our sailoceans.com. Actually, right now, all the movies are available on separate webpage on our sailoceans.com, and you can comment there, and nobody can take away those comments. So you are welcome to go to sailoceans.com and use that as your gateway to our movies, and then you can comment freely all you want. There is no censorship there. We will of course moderate, but if need be, but hopefully there won't be any need. But for tough subjects, we love tough subjects. We probably, you already noticed, we are very open. There's no secrets. We have no problem talking about anything and everything that deals with us, including even our intimate details about certain things. I mean, we both meditate, we both do tantra for many years, and for us, definitely sexuality is a thing that's not taboo. To us, it's a beautiful thing from which we started our existence, from which our kids started their existence, and a source of great pleasure in life. And we think that it's a great crime for this to be many different institute organizations. That's it. There was a question there. No, there wasn't. All right. So again, if you guys have any questions off the wall,
we just set up the Love Boat group on Facebook page. So the idea of that was in the beginning, and still, because as you probably know, we got some group of patrons that support our channel, the growth of our channel, and they give some support to us. So the group Loveboat is dedicated to our patrons who got extra content over there, and at the moment they got some these illegal things that I needed to cut it off from the video. So
not illegal according to law. Illegal,
no,
illegal,
I got
illegal,
about everything. So because
illegal,
just imagine I cannot
illegal,
even
illegal, all criminalizing policies.
Yeah, and we not talking about being naked in the videos. I'm talking about we cannot put a bottle of the rum in the video when we're talking about the Caribbean and Caribbean souvenirs or some spécialité de la moisson in the Caribbean. So it's like a crazy because it's like we're gonna get banned because we got kids and we cannot promote drinking alcohol within youth. So it's crazy because it's really very funny stories normally because we are not big fans of alcohol, so we don't drink a lot. But when we see the local 85% strong rum in the Caribbean, there's
190 proof.
Exactly. So it's like for us, it's like a local star, and not showing it in the videos is like a crime for us because everybody wants to see it and drink it and taste it.
It's charm, of the place.
So this is one of it. So, and then I used to tell you about all that the things about the Julian's party and costume party. So it's like insane for us. Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to do our best at the moment, and
I love it.
What?
American Puritanismos are insane fascists. Be glad you get no closer. We have to stop them a lot here, or they oppress everyone, even with violence. Yes, moralism is a problem of our.
But that it's really.
But it's not limited to US. It really isn't.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, US has its own flavor of it. Poland is getting pretty terrible about it. There is a very narrow. How should I? Not only very narrow, but narrowing perspective on what is proper and what you can do in life not to offend anybody is becoming shorter and shorter of a list, which is absolutely scary. Like I said, I've been born and raised because right now that what's going on right now with corporate policies that are all encompassing the whole world, because we're not talking about single governments, we're talking about policies that are affecting what can be transmitted via media throughout the world. That stuff is far more advanced than a Soviet propaganda ever was and a Soviet censorship ever was. And I am seriously touched that subject. I've been, like I said, born and raised with it. I've seen it. The difference between yes, George is here. Welcome, George. George has put an excellent post on our group about our world turning into the only way we can take this back somehow is to create independent channels of communication. That is exactly what we're doing right now. We're trying to use sailoceans.com as an independent channel of communication. This is not just us self-advertising. This is actually, to a point, fight of survival of free speech. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, the governments are not even so censoring as the corporations themselves. The ones.
Some people feel that they feel safe in the country, in a system. Someone is protecting them because they are protected.
Yeah, but
it's like
the problem is
they cannot see what is the border. When they are limited in their lives.
They're not realizing that for the oftentimes false sense of security, they're paying a high price in freedom. That, in my humble opinion, is not worth it. So that is the big thing, and this is the same kind of like of building defenses around yourself in your own personality that are built on based on traumas that happen to you in life, and so you build a wall to secure you from that kind of trauma again. But guess in wall, stuff cannot go through both ways. So not only you securing yourself from pain, but you also securing yourself, quote unquote, blocking yourself from feeling love, from feeling all the sensations that are there, and the life becomes a bit more flatter. So the question is, what is it that we want? And that should be everybody's conscious choice, not a choice. Again, it's all about choice. Halder, thank you. So it's all about choice. I'm not saying what everybody should do, but everybody should have a choice to do whatever they feel like doing. And that is my only problem with that. We may have a legal right to free speech, but not able to use it due to corporate and public entities. Exactly right. It's exactly right. You know, funny thing, Ania has noticed something really good, because when we went global to the whole world, all of a sudden, the set of the list of things that could be offensive grew immensely, right? Yeah. So now, in order not to offend this people in this country, people in this religion, people in this culture, people that of that sex, and so on, not sunny today, and that's about as far as it goes without offending anybody. That is spot on, George. That's not, we're actually doing it to ourselves. Sad. Okay, it got really serious. Guys, we can, sorrow is beautiful, sadness is beautiful, but now we got, yes, lowest common denominator, yeah. Problem is, that lowest common denominator is trending to zero. I know it's against math. You can't divide by zero, but soon enough, we're going to be dividing by zero. Wow. Okay. This is a really good discussion. Yeah. By the way, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. So this is the kind of stuff that we don't hold back, and we talk about on Love Boat. I'm not saying this because I want you guys all to become our patrons, but the whole idea of patroning for us is like someone asked us the other day. Well, I get offended by people saying how lovely the weather is. Yes, I do too. Absolutely, okay, I do too. Yes, and I actually get offended by someone asking me how are you. All right, finally it gets funny a little bit because it was getting sad for a moment. What was I saying about Love Boat and support? Yes, I wanted to tell you something about support. I said this over and over and over, but I'll say this again. We don't need donations to pay for our life, to pay for our boats, to pay for our travel, for anything that's in our life right now. We can safely support ourselves, and we're happy with it. We don't need them at all. What we want them for, and what we expect them for, is if when you realize that what we're giving you is something worth attention and it's giving you some value in life, and that we may have sparked some as in like they changed their life, and went after their dreams. It's lovely. That in itself, to me, is, by the way, a great reward. But if until you do that, if you feel that we're actually doing something for you that's of significance, that we in turn basically ask that if you want to express some gratitude, then you're welcome to put a donation in through patreon.com, patronite.pl, or through our PayPal. Doesn't matter. And if you don't, you can still continue to watch us. But what we do is that when people do give us donations, that Love Boat community is kind of our saying thank you for getting more involved. Because let's face it, money is a form of energy. You had to go out your time, your energy through $1, a little bit. And if that's what you feel that you're getting back from us, it's a great business. That's the kind of business I can do in life. Seriously. Yeah. Ah,
Yeah. Connection with bad.
connection blew up.
Exactly. Maybe getting late. So you are asking about our future plans. At the moment, we're in Poland, and we're slowly getting ready to come back to our home because for last 2 months, 2.5, we spent beautiful time in Poland. It's really intense time because we got so many things to do here: visit family, friends, and
As usual,
other things are other business on our list to be released really soon. We were working on what?
I guess I don't know something.
Maybe in English it's not so good as Polish.
tell me what it is.
Yeah, but some projects, new project on its way.
New project, okay.
And yeah, so we are leaving Poland very soon, within 2 weeks, and heading to Suriname, to South America, and then from Suriname we are sailing to the Caribbean again. Yeah, so we got only 1 week in Suriname to prepare the boat, clean the boat, because for the last 3 months it was stuck in marina in Suriname Brown River. So it's high time to just clean it up and go.
But the good news is
all the monkeys on the trees.
The good news about Brown River is that when it sits for 3 months in fresh water, the bottom is spotless clean. Yeah, everything that was growing on the bottom is gone. Yeah. On the other hand, the top side looks like shit.
Yes, I can promise here today that I'm gonna edit some video from Suriname really soon.
Finally. I keep promising Ania for 1.5 years that I'm going to edit a video that we're going from last year. We're going from Bahamas to Suriname because it was a really cool cruise. That was like 1,600 miles upwind and up the current.
I was baking pizza.
Yeah, she was baking pizza midway somewhere between Bermuda and South America.
It was
while
crazy.
Being seasick.
It was crazy. Yeah, but we got it. Yeah. Yeah, so we are planning to be in the Caribbean for next season.
And then
we're thinking of going to the Bahamas again, and maybe
if we go to Europe, then we're going to Bahamas. Yeah, if we don't go to Europe, it's a 50-50. We go to the Bahamas now, because it's really that leg from Bahamas to South America.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'd rather go to New York and go to Europe. If we do go to Europe, we have to repaint the bottom. We may repaint the top. Basically, took the boat apart and started. After that, surprise, surprise. We were in Istanbul. What? We have fans. Seriously. Holy shit.
And we met them.
We met them. They caught us there. Yes, and we had a beautiful dinner, for which we are very grateful, because they decided they will not let us pay for it. So we've been invited. So that was really nice. Ahmed was actually he's actually in the flying business too, so we had a lot more in common to talk about than we initially thought. To make the long story short, they gave us an idea about East Mediterranean in the southern Turkey and Israel, East Mediterranean in the southern Turkey and Israel, where there is actually will not go below 20 degrees Celsius apparently in the midst of the winter. So this is something that's been on our list. We really love to go to Greece, to Turkey, but it was always but it was always very tough for us, thinking like, okay, well, we're gonna make it to Europe, to Gibraltar maybe, from the Caribbean sometime in May at the earliest. And then we have to spend a few weeks going across the entire Mediterranean, missing all the great spots on the way, by the way, and then spend really hectic time in Greece really fast, and then come back again for the fall via Gibraltar to Canary Islands and go to Caribbean. None. Okay, we have a fast boat, but we love living slow. So this idea about going there and staying the whole winter on the eastern side of Mediterranean and actually having time to visit all the things on the way, brilliant. In the way, brilliant. Nothing is going to happen. And after that, if things go really well, and after that, if things go really well, we met our friends from Sputnik who rounded the world recently. We were neighbors in Martinique for a few years. And they give us an idea of how to run the world without getting shot by pirates and killed by hurricanes. And that idea is to go around South Africa, going eastward, visit the Indian and the Pacific Ocean, going eastward. So we're going to have to remain in higher latitudes when we're moving east, because if you go into lower latitudes, you're going to hit the trade winds and go against the wind and against the current. No fun. But we can always go east and then turn north and just use the broad to. So that's in general terms. And then the only tough one is we would have to go around Cape Horn. But if we do it with the current and with the wind, it's probably doable if the boat is going to be in a very good shape. So with kids, leave me alone like in Biscay Bay. No, I'd much rather do that. I'd much rather to go alone than with kids and seasick and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's the big plan. But we definitely rounding the horn this could be 5, 10, 20 years away. And because for all I know, we do want to spend a lot of time in Polynesia. We would love to go up north to cross over the equator too. So there's like a million places to go over there.
Yeah, but for little steps, little plan, we'll be on the boat soon, and we'll be back to the Insta stories again from our boat, everyday life, basic life, and yes, so we're gonna show you Suriname and the Caribbean again. And for the very first time, we decided to go to Grenada for longer. It means like for 2-3 weeks. So we're gonna explore the islands with pleasure.
If you have some suggestions about Grenada, please please don't be quiet, because we've only been there twice in our life and we haven't seen much of it. So
we visited
we're
Marina
open to
because it was a new built marina.
Yeah, and one time we were in Prickly Pier Bay, I think it's called on the south side.
Okay. So in October we're gonna be over there. Yes. So.
And she's saying attitudes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And what the right attitude is definitely not something that you can read in YouTube policies. This is our policies.
I would rather say the common priorities.
Yes.
To spend time together on a boat.
And chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Not only in Grenada, there's on the way we're going to be in the Grenadines, and if you know this little island Petit Tabac, it's got this absolutely beautiful beach that goes into the sea, kind of like this, and it's got waves coming from both sides. That's where Johnny Depp dug up this chest with the heart and also the rum too. So we've been there many times.
Plus, the Saint Vincent, the island also is like is of scenes from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
And on top of all that, we will be upgrading a little bit our offering this season, because we have done some pretty amazing we have gone through some pretty amazing paths, tantra and meditation for the last few years, and we finally felt this calling and this moment in our life where we feel, how should I say, not smart enough, because it's not about that, but we'll basically be offering what we already know about this stuff, about personal and spiritual development during our cruises. So we'll be offering simple exercises, simple meditations, and anybody will be able to join that, and we'll make it nice and easy for those interested, because it's not obligatory. Exactly. But it could be something interesting for for some people to be able to start down on a self-development path. And we're hoping that that's going to gain some traction.
Maybe you're gonna make some more videos on it.
You know,
in the future.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna make some videos. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Plus, we want to set up another channel only about not
about spirituality,
with kids involved.
Yeah, without kids, so
avoid all the issues with the policy. Yeah. So only for adults. So we're gonna tell you more about Tantra and being conscious in our life every day. So Tantra and being conscious in our life every day. So, but it's like a project. And but for those who are selling, just offer some extra things about the things we knew. We got some certification.
You know what? But it came to me in one sentence. So very conscious everyday life. Conscious sexuality, conscious everything, literally, all conscious choices.
Because for us, it's like it's holistic. It
is holistic. Yes,
it's like it's not about we live on a boat. It's not only about taming, but it's like for us, it's living in a harmony with the nature. Really be here, being conscious in a presence. And then it starts every day. It's like what you drink, what you eat, what you do, what you say, what you feel. Then allowing yourself feel, and it's like a real things, And it's a long discussion.
As many of you know, we manifested from day one. I mean, one of our first projects on the boat when we first bought, literally within the first few days, was installing solar panels.
Do you like the idea? Because I say some wow, love it, looking forward to it from GF.
Land, they're coming to us. They will be the first victims of the. They will be the first victims of the. So, by the way, if you want to join the cruise Suriname to via Grenadines to Grenada on September 28th, I think October 9th, right, or something like that.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Then please be advised, we'll be meditating. because GTFO plan, the couple that's coming to join us, they're already in on the crime.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, so it's definitely not going to be the just the usual just a sailing trip.
Exactly.
It should be fun. A lot of fun.
Okay. So next time we're gonna invite you from the boat, from our home, probably from Grenada, maybe from Suriname. We'll try to do it from Suriname, but it's really difficult over there because the Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi connection is terrible. So what we can promise you, if we might sit down and just do another Beaching About Life. If we have some great idea, we'll just pop the GoPro and record something for you guys and then post it. Because posting from Suriname actually works. While live,
the Wi-Fi in the Marina
maybe not so good. So.
Okay. Any more questions here?
There is only one consciousness, Werner Heisenberg.
Yeah, one
of my favorite quotes of these days. Yes, Animist channel. I like this guy a lot, or this girl, whoever he or she is.
Actually, he's a guy.
Actually, if we go into this deeper, if we go into aspects of feminine and masculine, so in the end, it really doesn't matter. It's just a package.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to there's a separate idea of personal consciousness, but if you go deep enough, it all connects. But that is a subject for a whole another, not discussion really. It's more for experiencing.
Okay.
Yes, some of the stuff cannot be really mindful and rational talking. It has to be direct experience. Why? What's going on? Are we like overpaying for internet?
Yes.
Maybe you're cutting me off?
No. Our audience is on sleep.
Well, I don't see the numbers falling.
Numbers falling. You need to keep something for
later.
later.
Guys, yes, I will keep something for later. Yeah. No, I don't keep anything for later because it just flows so nicely that later is going to be a whole other idea to talk about. All right, guys.
Okay.
I'm going to count to 10 backwards. If you got any other questions, anything, it can be very intimate. We don't care. We're very open, and there is no taboo here. you can ask it, and we'll answer it. And if not, thank you for the chat. Thank you for the chat. Thank you very much.
Your time.
So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you
so much. See you next time.